Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night into the night. Hello, Lizzie. How are you? Glad you made it tonight. Welcome everybody to into the night with Shawn Kelly. We are on 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, and then we're also on Roku too. So um, I hope everyone's doing great. I mean, we got the 4th of July coming up next week, celebration of our independence, and I don't know. My week just went by okay. I did what I had to do and I survived it. And now I'm here sharing with you on Tuesday night. I'm going to share a little bit about it for you before I get into the topics that I have thought about. And speaking of the topics that today we're going to talk about death and grieving and hitting the reset button. Um, it depends. Whenever I come up with an idea for a show, and and it depends on what kind of mood I'm in at the time. You know, so I was in kind of a bummer mood, like on last Wednesday, Thursday. So I figured, hey, what the heck? I'll talk about death and grieving, or else whatever. Like me, what else comes out of my mouth, we'll talk about that too. But I had a decent week. Everything went okay. We went to took a little drive. You know, my mom wanted to go to do some shopping, so I took her some shopping, and I got to catch up with some old friends of mine, and it was nice to hear from them. You know, my schedule or everybody's schedule. You know how busy you get all the time, and you completely forget about the people who were behind you 100%. Well, you know what? That happened to me because I had so much stuff going on my plate that I totally forgot about people who I used to run with or were there when I needed them to help me, get through all kinds of stuff. And I got to meet a couple. I got not meet them, but I actually got to talk to them, and it felt good to catch up, to reminisce on the old times. What was great about it was that a couple of them I haven't talked to in a long, long time, and I gave them a call to ask them how they're doing, all that good stuff. And I mean, it's like we just picked up where we left off 7, 8 months ago. So the feeling's kind of great. It was pretty good to be connected. I know I told you last week that I actually started a garden and I'm planting onions and I'm planting garlic. And then I got some tomatoes, I got some potatoes, I got little baby carrots, and that's for the rabbit that hangs around my garden. I let him have those. But all in all, it's going to be okay. It's going to be an okay day. It's going to be an okay show tonight. So, as you can see here, it says talking about death. Before I go on to that, I'm going to ask you that question. What is death to you? Okay. Um, to me, I read up a little bit about it, and basically all I read was that it's about a loved one who has died or passed, that, a job, you lost your job. Um, you just deal it, you just died. Okay. And how do you deal with it? How do you deal with that? I can put this into the paranormal, sense of things. But you know what? How do you deal with it? I have a hard time dealing with that. Okay. And the reason behind that is because the people who have died or the situations that had died, um, I really, truly, needed that, to keep me going, to not to boost my ego or nothing like that. Pam here. Hey, Pam. Death is a loss of many kinds. Yes, death is. Thank you for sharing that. Um, but I cannot, it's hard for me to accept death. Okay. Um, it's real hard for me to, someone that was close to me, a friend, a relative, die. And, that I go through it all. I go through the emotions, and pretty soon we'll be talking about the grieving a little bit. But, for me, I just have a hard time. And so for me, death is a loss, but also death um, could be something, you know, good. Pam, let me put that up. I can do that. Pam Harris says, you need to remember death is not designed to be easy. You know what, Pam? That is so true. Yeah, that is so true. Um, I heard something a while back to where um, whoever created us, whoever, I'll say God created us, that's another topic in itself. But you know what, from what I understand, is that he put that, I'm going to call it DNA, into us in order for us to feel it, to deal with it. Um, but what was crazy about it was that, he never gave us a guidebook how to do with it, how to do things. So basically, we were out on our own trying to figure out what to do. Um, I'll give you an example. When I was 24, my father passed away. Okay, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. And boy, did I cuss God out. Oh, I did really, really. I did a lot. And because, like, he was 52, I was 24, 25, and he died of cancer. Um, but it was kind of tough because he took him away from me too early. Okay, he took away from me too early, and um, because at that time, I was dating, I was going to get married the following year, um, and I looked at him in the casket, and I was cussing my dad out. Okay, cussing him out. Why did you do this? Why did you die? Why did I was so angry at him, and you know a lot of anger toward my father, but a lot of anger toward, I'll say, God. And I'm thinking, I'm only 24, and it was like I was thrown to the wolves. you know I didn't have that stability who I thought I did, and I learned to deal with it. And how I dealt with it was I drank. I drank and I drank and I drank. I drank a lot because that's the only way, you know, that I could deal with it. And then you know what? I went to AA in 1991, and I've been sober ever since. But it's just I take death really hard, and how does and again I want to put that question out to everybody out there tonight. How do you all deal with it? Is there a special potion? Is there something? How do you deal with it? You know, after my father passed away, there were a couple other people who had passed, and a couple pets and situations like that. And again, I couldn't deal with it. It's because somebody was taken away from me, somebody I cared about. You know, recently, 5 years ago, my best friend Debbie, she was my age, and I mean, full of spunk, full of everything. She was great, and then all of a sudden, she got this autoimmune disease, and she died. She died, and I mean, that hit me more than it hit my father because, for a long time, it just seems like everybody that I would get close to would pass away, would leave, you know. Um, I know it's a fear of abandonment. Oh yeah, definitely. And even with not death, okay, even with something that I started and then all of a sudden it just went away, okay, it just seems like it died. And people come up to me and they tell me, it's going to end. You're going to start your life over, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. You're going to find more people and stuff like that. And you know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. I will tell you that right now because it's hard. It's really, really freaking hard. So to me, I go and I look at all of the self help books, and I talk to a lot of different people trying to express how I feel. Do you guys do the same thing? Do you guys share to other people about what's going on inside you, especially after somebody who has passed away? Um, I did. And you know what? It might have lasted for 3 minutes. It gave me a little bit good advice, but you know what? Hey, then they just didn't care and they tried to avoid. And it's like, so why do I go out and try to express myself, try to find somebody to talk to, even a psychiatrist? Oh my God, or a psychologist. Psychiatrist wanted to give me pills to take the pain off, but that wasn't going to happen. So you would figure, right, that me being a paranormal investigator and being in the field for over 30 years, okay, um, that I should have no problem accepting it. But you know what? I do have a problem with it. I really, really do. But you know what? I know that for, further on down the road, as I learn to deal with life on those terms, everything's going to be decent. Everything will be okay. It's just that last Wednesday, Thursday, it's just like I had death all over my mind, you know. Um, I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't going insane. I just felt death. And sometimes, when I'm out there, and I don't know how you people are, how everybody here watching the show tonight, cool. Pam Harris says, death is hard for all. It is designed, however, to reflect on ourselves because those of us they leave behind are a reflection of them and how much they loved us, also what we meant to them. What was it they distilled in us? Really, do we really think they never thought about leaving us? Yes, they did think about it. Also, keeping this in mind, think about what you want those around for you to remember. What have you passed on to those around you? Oh, wow. Thank you, Pam. Thank you for that. It's true. And I thought about that, Pam. That last part. What have you passed on to those around you? And I thought about it, and I'm thinking, you know what? For everybody that I helped, everybody that I kind of taught and took under my wing, for me, I hope they learn from that. Um, I don't, like, being humble is the biggie for me, you know. Um, so maybe that will happen. I don't know. Um, it was crazy because for the longest time, you know, especially going through when I would lose everybody, what would happen was I think, maybe I'm not supposed to be around in this world. I will tell you this, though, I have never had suicide situations. Maybe when I was back earlier, but not now, not no more. And it just seems like when situations happen, all of a sudden, boom, I got to get back up, go to work, and do what I have to do to stay alive. You know. So maybe as the time goes on, and I, instead of getting out of this bubble that I have about me and start, breaking that bubble apart and just like, seeing everything around me and dealing with it, you know, maybe it'll be there. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I will try because I honestly need to be happy. Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I usually do on my shows. Pam says, believe in yourself enough to know those around you will remember what is they got from you. Oh, God bless you. Pam, thank you so much for that. Thank you for all that you have shared tonight so far. That's great. Um, Again, she says, believe in yourself enough to know those around you will remember what it is they got from you. And you know what, Pam, that's true because there's a lot of times I don't believe in myself. I mean, I'm 61 years old, okay, and I've done so many things out there. And when I start going and doing things, you know what, I, I believe. I'm like, damn, I can do this. And then all of a sudden, that creepy thinking inside me comes back and says, it makes me feel that I don't believe. But you know what? I guess it happens to everybody, you know. I guess it happens to everybody. But in the long run, okay, I think I'm going to be okay. Oh, Brian, hey, Brian, how are you? Brian's my cousin. Brian was always able to bounce back. Dave just knocked the floor right out of from under me. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. Appreciate it. Brian, me, Pam, me, Brian, my cousin. Um, so I guess, I'm not guessing. I have to accept things that happen when somebody dies or any kind of death out there. You know, I have to accept it and deal with it. You know, um, I have to find a new way to deal with that. I have to, and you know what? I will find it. You know, um, but here's the real crazy part about the whole thing is that of all the people who have died on me, um, besides my father, and everything that happened, you know, that I strive for and that I work for, died. I did it sober. Now, that's crazy. Trying to deal with life on life's terms, on being sober. Okay. And I just have to put a little bit more effort into the situations. I got to take a drink of water here, drink of tea. Thank you. Um, so that, to me, that's the whole kick and caboodle about that for me. You know, I don't know how everybody else deals with it. If you want to share in the thing, in the comment section, please feel free to. But maybe down the road this year or maybe next year, I'll have another show on death, and then, we'll see how it turns out, see how things work out. You know, I do have a little problem with my doctors. Oh, Pam. Okay, Pam. Pam says you have to have enough belief, not just in yourself, but believe that God is here for us all. When you have the second thoughts, read the Bible. The Bible is a message to all that we are here as an extension of the Lord and those we surround ourselves with. Thank you for sharing that, Pam. Thank you very much. That was nice. And I shall do that. I shall do that. So we'll see what happens. Next year I'll have another show on death, and we'll see how it comes to be. You know. Ah, Boy, I'm glad I let that off my chest. But I will tell you this though. Last Wednesday I had a CT scan on my lungs, and the doctor said to me, "Well, we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 days from now." After that, and they haven't called me back yet. And I've been on pins and needles because they did find two spots on my lungs um, the last time back in April. And I guess this is for me to learn patience, you know, and to have faith in God. I don't know, um, but it is worrisome, and it worries my son, and it worries my mom, my brother, you know. But I guess learning the patience for it is all I can do is deal with it, you know. But if you can out there, please, I'm not afraid. Could you please, keep me in your prayers tonight? Um, so whatever answer that I get from the doctors, and hopefully it's soon, then I'm going to have to accept it. You know, my father died of lung cancer. So with this stuff on the lung, I saw what he had to go through. But who knows? It's all in God's hands, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. Yeah. So I hope you took a little bit of what I talked about with that tonight. Um, I hope it kind of like opened your eyes, or maybe have you start thinking um, a little bit more about on how you can handle it. Pam Harris had some really good things to say. She's a saint tonight. She's an angel. Brian said something nice tonight. Pam just posted, losing a child 10 years ago, trust me, is not something that goes away. The grieving part, as with any death, we deal with grief, is a difficult thing. It's not easy. Oh my God, that is so true. And that was the second part of what I was going to talk about was the grieving. I will look up. I'm not ashamed, but I found the death. What is grief? And I got this on my phone because I don't know how. I only have one little laptop, and I don't know how to share screen. So, what is grief? Grief is a natural response to loss. It's the emotional suffering you feel when something or someone you love is taken away. Often, the pain of loss can feel overwhelming. You may experience all kinds of difficult and unexpected emotions, from shock or anger to disbelief, guilt, and profound sadness. Now, the different kinds of loss, that they talk about with the grieving is loss of a close friend, the death of a partner, death of a classmate or colleague, serious illness of a loved one, relationship breakup, or death of a family member. So as I continue talking about grief here, I'm going to, reference my phone here because they got some like really cool stuff about this. Um, okay, so grieving. Oh my God. Hi, Laura. It's my other cousin. Hi. Thanks for sharing tonight. Sending lots of love and prayers, cuz. Always here if you want to talk. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing this. Brian, uh, Laura's here. I don't know, Laura, if you've seen Brian. Thank you very much for being here. That is sweet. That is sweet. Grieving is, I guess you want to, I guess it is hard. Okay. The way I grieve is totally different from how other people, I guess other people or different people or people are in different situations and how they grieve. Now, um, my father passed away 32 years ago. Okay, he passed away. And what's sad is that I never got the opportunity to grieve for him. Never shed a tear, you know. I never got emotional. I never got, I got a little angry on it. But as of the actual so-called grieving, I haven't. Um, and to me, that was perplexing. That's the word of the day, perplexing. And so I never did. I never did grieve my father's death. You know, and it's not so much for me grieving over a death because I really have a hard time dealing with it. And not just my father, but for everybody else. Okay, that is close. But what I grieve a lot is about things that has happened to me in everyday life. I get sad. I get depressed. I get angry. And I think about a million different types of ways to get back at the people who made me feel this way. You know, things that I put my heart into, things that, to help people get started on things. And all of a sudden it's all gone. And to me, that's death. To me, that's death. And the grieving part's really hard, real hard. For me, and I don't know what it's like with you. If you want to share how you grieve out there, everybody, please feel free to share. Okay. Pam says, "Hi, Pam. Here we go. Grief is not the same for everyone. All of those things mentioned are part of the grieving process. It is not something that comes easy. Not everyone grieving is the same. We have our own way of grieving. You did grieve because you suffer from the loss every day. You just don't realize it all is all sort of grieving." I thank you for sharing that, Pam. I really, truly appreciate that. Thank you. Pam has really, really been an angel tonight. Um, thank you. So I get sad. I really do. When it first happens, A, it's shock. B, then it's angry. C, trying to figure out what happened. D, not knowing that it's not going to happen again. Then E, crying about it. And F, feeling a lot of self-pity. That's how I go about my group, when shit happens to me, you know. And a lot of stuff has happened to me over my life. It just seems like whenever I get that little, like, minuscule of, like, a little opening of, hey, everything's working great. Everything's going okay. Everything is working out the way it's supposed to. And all of a sudden, something happens, and it just starts all over again. Going through that same process all the time. And and it gets to the point where, and I'm talking about me, everybody. I'm not talking about anybody else, because like Pam said, people grieve in different ways. But I'm talking about this, about me, right? Um, and like I said before, it just like, little sliver of light, and all of a sudden, boom, it gets covered up again. But I don't know. I gotta take a breath here. It's going to be okay, I guess. Is it going to be Pam, Laura, crying? Is it going to be okay? I keep telling everybody that everything's going to be okay. But the funny thing is, I don't listen to what I say. You know, I'm good at telling other people what to do or hear. But do I take my suggestions? I don't. I don't do it at all. I'm going to have to start learning how to do that. You know, we'll see what happens. Oh, Pam says, I, after many years, realized rejoicing and be able to have had that person in my life was a blessing, and knowing they are happier. I can't help but smile because I was so blessed to have them and be a part of them and knowing they love me. Oh, thank you, Pam. Again, thank you. Wow. That I was just like, thank you. I really wish I had that relationship with my father back then when that happened. I know that, you talk about smiling and being part. My friend Debbie, the girl who passed away from ALS, right? I kind of, knew that. Um, I always smiled because she was a meat cutter just like me, but at a different store. And there's times that I'm at night when I'm working late, I could smell her perfume or I can hear her voice saying stuff like, I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Shawn? Straighten out. You're cutting that wrong. Whatever. But I do know that she's there, and I do smile. You know, and it's funny too because she likes, and it's not me that goes after, but she also messes with the other guys that I work with, and it's kind of funny. And all I do is have that little creepy grin on my face. But I guess me or we, however you want to put me, when, why, where, how. I guess we're just going to have to do it. You know, I don't want to be sad all the time. I want to be happy, and I strive for that. Even if it's a little strawberry growing off at the end of my plant, I'm happy as a jaybird. You know, or believe it or not, honest to God, the bunny rabbit, little bunny rabbit, hangs around the garden. No lie, really. Um, that she just takes the carrots, and I give her the carrots, and she just eats them right out of the plant. Pam comes back and says, "You really need to know it isn't too late to have that relationship because they aren't here. They hear you. You can talk to them, pray with them, so on. They want you to smile at them." That's true. That is so true. And that was the coolest thing. That was the nicest thing about getting into the paranormal work is that the investigations that we did at everybody's houses and stuff like that, that's all they talked about was death and how they grieved, you know. And again, I'm going to be honest with everybody here. I was more, concentrating on how to help them, you know, deal with the death, to deal with the grieving, why the spirits in the house. Is it a family member? Is it not a family member? You know, and listening to theirs stuff that I wasn't really concentrating on mine, you know. So now it's time to start concentrating on me. It really is, you know. Um, and we'll see where it goes through. And again, like I told everybody, earlier, um, I hope you got a little bit out of this tonight with the good stuff from Pam. Hey, Squats, man, good to see you. Hey, Squats, nice to see you, pal. All right. I hope everything's okay with you, bro. Hope, it's good to see you. Um, so, you know, um, I hope everybody got something out of that little bit of part of the show tonight about the death and the grieving. Um, and maybe, what Pam has said, maybe a little bit sharing about my story, could help other people and, deal with the grief and the death that they are dealing with today. I will tell you this, everybody who's going through a hard time tonight or going through a hard time right now, I will say a prayer for you. I will pray for you. Pam Harris says, I love the paranormal. I love spirit and I love my cards. Ah, cool, Pam. I'm going to have you on the show one day. What cards do you read? Do you read cards? If you do, if you want to share it, like what deck do you use? But yes, I hope everybody got something good out of it tonight. And so, as you can see at the bottom of my screen, it's hitting the reset button. I heard that saying the other day. Funny thing, I heard it on TikTok. Look in the mirror and know they're looking at. Oh, Pam, I got to bring this up so everybody can see it. Pam says, look in the mirror and know they are looking at you. Smile, they will smile back. Imagine that. I sure will. I def. Ah, cool, Pam. One of these days, if it's okay with you, Pam, if you can, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook or not, but maybe I can get you on the show and we can do a little, if you'd like to do some readings for somebody, that would be pretty cool. I would like to, have you on as a guest and we can catch up and we can talk about more about you and what your cards. It's up to you. If you want to, just leave me a message. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right. She is on Enlightened Souls Paranormal. Okay. Now I know how to look you up, and then I'm gonna write that down right now. Enlighten. Okay. Paranormal. All right. And then, I'm gonna send you a message out there, and then maybe we can get you and your group on the show. That would be pretty cool. Oh yeah, and everybody else. That's awesome. Pam says she sure would. Well, would love to do cards. She said, I sure would. Would love to do cards on here with you. That'd be great. I'll talk to you after the show or tomorrow. I'll send you a message. But all I know is that now at the bottom to get rid of this here, it says hitting the reset button. I heard that the other day on TikTok, and it was about a person. Will do. I will definitely do that, Pam. Definitely. Um, but hitting the reset button, it was on TikTok because somebody was going something. They were going through a hard time, and they lost this people, and they were feeling down. And somebody said in the comments to this person, they said, "Well, you need to hit the reset button." And I'm thinking about, what? The reset button? I didn't quite understand what she meant by that. So I sent that lady a message and I said, well, what do you mean about the reset button? And she told me straight out, she said, Shawn, when everything just goes down the toilet, okay, when everything just falls apart and your life is not like your life as it used to be, you need to sit down, take a deep breath, and just hit the reset button on you so you can start over again. And it made sense. It made a lot of sense on that. Um, and it just brought a big smile on me because now, instead of just like waiting for the other shoe, or if the other shoe drops, all I got to do is like press that button and say, well, we got to do this all over again. And what was crazy, what she said about it was that, we hit the reset button so many times, you know, But us being humans, okay, um, we don't we don't conceive or think about what got us to where we had to hit that reset button. I hope that made sense. And but it's true. Pam, honest to God, glad to meet you too. Pam says, Shawn, good to meet you. Thank you for a good evening. Have a good evening. Thank you, Pam, and we'll be in touch. I guarantee it. Thank you for what you shared tonight. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to start hitting the reset button. And this time around, you know, instead of like, okay, so did this, so my life fell apart. Well, when I'm about to sit down and hit the reset button, I'm just gonna before I hit it, I'm gonna write down and say, well, this is what happened. So maybe I'll take a note and realize, hey, you know, let's not try to get through this again. But you know what? We do beat our, personally, sometimes me, I mean, how many times people out there, including me, have, beat our head up against a wall, accepting something different. And it doesn't happen. It's just like you're just beating your head and you're getting headaches. And it's like, nah, you can't do that now. Can't even put a pillow there. That'd be crazy. That'd be kind of insane to do something like that, you know. But I guess we all will have, if you want to, it's all on you. If you want to hit that reset button, because I'm sure I'm going to have to reset it tomorrow. Definitely, definitely going to hit the reset tomorrow. So, is anybody out there in the chat room tonight who's watching have a paranormal story that you want to talk about? Well, let me see. I don't know if I have many. Uh, I have many. So, what I want to do before, I want to end up talking about, you know, death, grieving, and hitting the reset button. Oh, wow. All right, Frater, good to see you. Good to see you. Michael, good to see you, brother. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Thank you for coming on. It's a big smile. It just, it's really, really crazy. Um, when you think, things are getting tough, and all of a sudden your friends come on and they talk and they say hello. That is great. You know, it just put a big smile on my face. It really did. It made me feel good inside. Yes, sir. Michael says support. That's true. That is true. And that's what we need, Mike. We need that. We need everybody to support each other. All you got to do is ask everybody. All you have to do is ask. And even if you don't ask them, and we know for a fact that you are going through a hard time, I'm sure we can all support each other, not knowing that we're, being supported. I hope that sounded right. You know, um, God, I'm just like a happy camper now. I'm going to go do the Irish jig after a little bit, you know. But I'll tell you one story, um, one paranormal story that I had, and it was crazy. When we first started, we did a cemetery down in Finleyville. Um, if you go down 88, there's a church, a red church that sits on the side, on a big red church, and then up on the hill, it's a straight hill going up into the cemetery. And I was up on top of the hill, and I was just doing some meditation, doing some thinking, stuff like that. Uh, I'm not set up. Oh, taking phone calls tonight. I'm not taking any tonight, bud. I'm not really set up for it. but I definitely will be taking some next week. I'll figure it out and I'll definitely do it. But definitely, I will figure out how that's supposed to work. Um, I'm sitting up on a hill. I'm doing my meditation, and I come up and I snap a picture. Honest to God, there was like this big blue mist in front of me. It was kind of crazy, you know. It was really, really crazy, and it looked like an Indian. No lie. I really have to go into all my old computers and try to, get some of these pictures back out again. Um, and Mike says, all it takes is a phone. Yes, sir. Yes, it does. And my friend Michael here, he has an awesome show. Um, and I worked with him for a little bit, and I learned a lot. He has his show. What's look at yours? Huh? Oh, okay, okay. But it's great. I'm lost for words right now. So I mean, have a lot of good experiences out there in the cemeteries and stuff like that. Um, I could go on and on and on forever about most of the stories that I have, you know. But I will tell you this, it's coming up, on the top of the hour here pretty soon, and I just want to mention that uh, Trish Moe will be on at 10:15 tonight, right after my show. So her show is called The Missing Piece. So if you're not doing anything tonight, um, feel free to, come in and tune in to UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi, and listen to our show. It's called Missing Piece with Trish Moe. She's a good girl. She has decently good shows. But, I was thinking today, right? Next week, we got it's the start of a lot of holidays coming up. And the 4th of July is coming up next week. Complete Independence Day. And um, I was thinking before the show, they are throwing so much crap at us now, the government and everything else. But, it seems weird to me, though. Even it just seems like that we just don't give up, we just don't look up. Look, we don't give up, you know. Um, and trust me, there's a lot of bad crap going on. But 4th of July, go out, make, have picnics, be with your family, shooting off fireworks. It's the best thing in the world because we are independent. It was our day. And they are so trying so hard to take that away from us. And and I think this inside, it may ring soon. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, give it a ring, Mike. See what happens. I'm going to try to see how I can work this. Might have to take my headphones off. But let me see. Okay. Let me give you a call, Mike. But keep going here. Wrong one. Um, Hold on, we'll get there. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. But all right, where you at? Hmm, I can't find you. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. Okay. Hey, Mike.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
how
should,
are you? Can we hear you on there?
you should be able to. Just let your phone down by your mic intake on your laptop.
Okay. How are you, buddy?
Oh, great.
That's great. I'm glad. Thank you for stopping in for the show.
I'm always in the background, believe me.
I know.
You're not standing out, but I'm always in the background.
That's
What are you
cool.
talking about tonight? What are you into the night or are you into the horrific politics?
Into the night. I started my first hour that I started was on uh, death, grieving, and hitting the reset button. But now, I wanted to talk about the 4th of July a little bit. Not, I really don't want to get into the politics, but I figured I'm glad that you're on because maybe you can give your little thing about the 4th of July and what it means to you.
Well, independence, freedom, love, family, relationships, what life used to be, what it can be again in the future. And if we celebrate it and we put our flags out and do things that mean the most to us, we value our independence, we show it. That's pretty much what it means to me. That would
Hmm.
that would mean a lot to me if we could get everybody to unify that way and forget everything and put it aside for just a few moments to reflect. Life can be good, and we will be back.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Um,
There was a comment that came out, bro, um, by Mr. President. And I don't want to say this to be negative because you're trying to reflect with some positivity here, and that's always the best thing one can do. But it seems that he's been selling out our own secrets to the United States, and admittedly said that he did. And
right.
I think everybody should stay aware in a different way. And I want to deliver that message to you. So at some point, you may be able to reflect as well,
Mm,
and give it some consideration or thought so it reaches the audience. The narrative has always been that Joe's a dummy.
right.
And this is the perfect moment, possibly, for him to make a comment like that, especially with several papers of impeachment now pending and fixing his own son's disputes with the government, lies, cover ups, bribes, etc. And it may be a good time to pull him and say Joe is no longer capable of running the show.
Hmm.
And that would do what? Never get him impeached because they would basically remove him under Article 25, or Joe may just step down.
Right.
What does that do? He can't defend himself if they find him incompetent, and everybody gets protected because Joe can't talk about it. Because Joe will say, I don't even remember being president. And I just want people to know the possibility of that narrative exists. As bad as we want things to go well, and it would restore a great part of our independence and give hope to America, beware of the narrative.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely,
only two
brother.
steps ahead.
Well, I'm glad everything's going okay with you, brother. We got to hook up sometime during the week and chat a little bit, okay?
Sure. All right, I'll let you go, man.
All
We'll
right,
talk
brother.
soon.
Thank you for calling in, Mike.
No problem.
Bye. Okay, so that was Michael and sharing what he was about his independence and what was going on with the narratives going on over there with Mr. Biden. But the 4th of July, I think, is going to be great. I know down here in Dormont Park, um, I mean, the 4th of July used to be really huge over here. A lot of people, I mean, they would hold big, like, different things, buttermilk stands or hot dogs or play bingo or whatever. Ah, Sebastian. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Sebastian's my friend from England. Great show tonight, Shawn, as usual. Thank you, sir. No, thank you for being on, buddy. Glad to see you. Um, but the 4th of July is really, 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 to me, it just is very patriotic. But as we move on, okay, we also got Halloween coming up. Who out there likes Halloween? I do. I keep thinking about it that pumpkins, the leaves changing, candy, children smiling, all that kind of all that good stuff. The only thing I don't do is pumpkin spice. I don't know if anybody out there knows or who even enjoys pumpkin spice. Please, I don't know. I just have no tolerance for it. And but it's like I love Halloween. It's just this like mystical, thing in the air. It just makes you feel. Um, it makes you feel alive again. So, and then you're sitting there passing out candy, and you see everybody running around grabbing candies and stuff like that, and and just the smiles, and just to see the parents walking with their children, walking around, and all kinds of stuff, and it's just great. Those haunted houses, they have out there. Um, I'm telling you, I used to do that stuff. I used to work at those things. Those were the coolest things in the world. I used to work at the haunted houses out there. Um, the one down here in on Potomac, the one couple out there in Bridgeville, and I actually ran. I actually got to run a haunted house, and that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's still a lot of fun to do. Um, I remember I was with the Upper St. Clair JCs for 3 years, and they had a haunted house going on over there in Bridgeville, and I always was there to volunteer for it. And I mean, I learned a lot. I learned how to, order things and to keep it safe and get people to do some like uh, what is it, chainsaw dude, um, and a couple other scare tactics that they have, and it was just a lot of fun. Halloween to me is fun, you know. But also, I guess I'm getting old because I also, see about like walking around in a pumpkin patch and looking at pumpkins. You know, I think that would be so great to do that. Uh, it's something that I could be looking forward to doing. You know, um, but definitely Halloween's great, and I hope everybody does the exact same thing. However you celebrate your Halloweens. Okay. If anybody's out there that would like to share how they do their Halloween, um, please feel free to do so. I know over in Ireland a long time ago, um, they didn't use pumpkins, they used turnips as jack o' lanterns. And I do believe that the reason why behind all that um, was because, to scare all the ghosts away, because, during Halloween, the veil thins out. Okay. Well, I kind of, differ on that. Let me put my head plugs in. Let me put those in here. But, everyone says that the veil gets thinner, around Halloween. I believe it's as thin as it can get right now because, um, there's been a lot of spirit activity going on. I've been getting a lot of people calling me, telling me about things happening at their house. We just got somebody the other day that I heard that what they're doing, that they live out in the woods, and the wife is actually hearing her husband, but her husband isn't there. Okay, so what that spirit is doing, it's mimicking her husband's voice, and not just that. I'm getting, not a lot, but some, emails saying that there's stuff happening, and I don't know what's going on. Either A, it's to, say like, hey, it is real and it is going on, or B, it's like telling, the spirit saying, all right, Shawn, get your ass back out there and do some more investigations. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I truly believe that the veil is as thin as it is all year round. Okay. Um, so how it with the spirits actions happening, and I don't know whenever they start feeling, how it's getting thinner. It's like that all year round, right? Um, but I'm just looking forward to Halloween this year. I'm looking forward to going out, getting some hot chocolate, whatever, and going to a pumpkin patch. I haven't done that in a while. And then comes Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up, and being in the meat department, that's kind of hard because you have to deal with people, you have to deal with turkeys and stuff like that. And usually, like eating a lot of turkey, and you have family over, and you got your mashed potatoes, you got football on TV, all that kind of good stuff. But I don't know if people truly have the Thanksgiving feeling going on. You know what I mean? I really don't know if that holiday tradition is there with people. Anybody out there in the comments that wants to comment on that, please feel free to do so. Um, because it just seems like you have to go and do this, for the family bit. You know what I mean? But I don't know. All I know is I get fat. And, it's crazy, working in the meat department during Thanksgiving. I have seen and deal with so many turkeys, cutting so many turkeys, that actually on Thanksgiving one time, all I had was a couple hamburgers because I couldn't deal with the turkey, you know. But maybe, maybe there are families out there that really do cherish, the family get togethers and have their own family traditions that they do, you know. To be honest with you, I really don't. Because I'm working all the time, especially during that season. And it's like, I'm so tired by then that I just can't enjoy it. And that's who I am. I'd hate to be a Debbie Downer because I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm just being straight out with you. But I got like 5 more years and 6 more years, and then I can retire, and then maybe we can go from there. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I won't be around for Thanksgiving. I'm lucky I have today. Who knows? I might not be here tomorrow. I don't know. That's in his hands upstairs. But I hope, and then I'm sure we're going to have a couple shows on Thanksgiving. And I'm definitely going to have a couple shows on Halloween, right? Um, and then comes Christmas. And Christmas to me is, even though I bust my butt out there at work, I love Christmas. I love it a lot. It's my mom's birthday. Putting up the tree, you know, my son, wherever he's at in the United States, he always flies in or drives in and spends Christmas Day with us. He spends a couple of days in Pittsburgh. And we have our own little tradition that we do, especially the music. I don't know if anybody heard of it, but Alabama, the group Alabama, they have their Christmas songs, you know. Um, and that's what we do when we sit around and we listen to the music. We open River. Hello, hey, hi, River. Good to see you. You just got home. Well, thank you for stopping in. It's good to see you on here. Um, Man, bigger smiles coming up now. My heart is like really happy now. But my Christmas is great to me, you know. And even though right after Christmas, the day after Christmas, I got to start cutting pork for New Year's. I don't know what this is. Pennsylvania, is Pittsburgh the only place that has a tradition for New Year's? Because here in Pittsburgh, we do the pork and sauerkraut and kibasi. Is there any other state out there? Is there any other country that does this kind of stuff? I would really like to know if it happens, if you do celebrate like that. But yeah, so back to Christmas, it's to me, you know, it's not, it's the spirit of giving for me. All right. It's not the spirit of receiving. You know, I got I got everything I need. God bless my son. He goes out and buys some gift cards. The Golden Corral. I don't know. That's a good buffet to go to. Gives me some other stuff to like Dick's or um, Cabela's. Gift cards. But it's not about that. To me, Christmas is giving. You know, and it's like I'd rather go out and go all out for people who I really care about. And not so much, even buying somebody dinner at Eaton Park or buying somebody a cup of coffee somewhere, something like that. To me, that's Christmas. And you're asking yourself, everybody's out there right now in the world saying, what the hell is he talking about Christmas? It's July, almost just coming up on July. Well, the reason why I'm talking about Christmas and I talked about Thanksgiving and I talked about Halloween and I talked about the 4th of July is because these are holidays that are coming up. And before you know it, and it's crazy, all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, January 1st, it's all of a sudden it's the 4th of July. And before you know it, it's going to be Halloween, and it's going to be Christmas and New Year's, and we're going to start this whole cycle over again. You know? So I hope everybody out there, have some decent, traditions. And if you want to, okay, down the road here before Christmas is, if you'd like to share your Christmas traditions, that would be pretty cool because I would like to hear everybody's. It's good to hear from other people on what they like to do. Um, I do notice, though, about Christmas in the last 10 years or so, it's been mainly all buying, big screen TVs and buying, all kinds of jewelry and buying and buying and buying and buying and buying to where there's a lot of people out there that can't buy, but they know deep inside that they can give their heart to them. They can give their love to people. And to me, that's the biggest Christmas gift you can ever give is by giving your love, by giving your heart, by just giving yourself to them. Even if it's just for a hug. Hugs are good, you know. It's still, to me, And I will keep saying this and saying this and saying this, and maybe one day it will happen, okay? That I pray that one day, for just one day, there are no wars, there is no fighting, there is no more yelling and screaming, there's no more backstabbing, that everybody just can get along for one day. That would be, that would be the best thing in the world for me. That's what I would like to see. That everybody for one day, just one day, like each other. And I know that's really, it's hard to ask that because everybody's all about everybody about themselves, and when you know that I can go to Tennessee and and maybe say, or I can go to Pittsburgh, or I can go to Kentucky, or I can go to North Carolina, and I don't know a person, but you know what? I can be nice to them. Or England too, Sebastian. I'll get over there before I die. But yeah, that would be my biggest Christmas gift to me if that could actually happen. Everybody just liking everybody for one day, you know. So, River, if you're still in, what are your plans for the 4th of July? Sebastian, what's your plans? Freighter, what's your plans? Anybody out there that would like to share, please feel free to share. You know, um, but my plans for the 4th of July, it's crazy because I'm off, and that this will be like the first 4th of July that I have been off in 24 years. And to be honest with you, I don't know what in the hell I'm going to do with myself because I always worked it, always worked. But knowing that that I helped, other families out there, okay, getting their hamburgers for them, getting them hot dogs, getting them, for them to have their picnics and stuff like that. It makes me kind of feel good inside that I am contributing to that and by just helping them out, you know. And I can tell by the smiles on my customers' faces, okay, that they feel the same way too. You know? So who knows? I don't know. But I do know that 9:23. I still got about a half hour left, and if anybody out there has anything that they want to bring up or say hello or talk about the holidays or just want to say anything, feel free to, feel free to do it. Um, but if not, I'll just continue. As you could tell, I got my cards, right? And so everybody out there who's listening to this, and the two people who are in the room watching this, okay, and three people now, and I'm grateful that there are three people in here, and it's like, for the longest time when I started this, um, 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I always worried about how many people were in the room as I was speaking. Don't Sebastian says, don't know, Shawn. Don't know yet, Shawn. I do hope it all goes well. Thank you. I hope so too, brother. You know, but I do plan on hitting the United Kingdom before I die, God willing. You know, I always said, when I was in the service, when I first got, I was stationed over in Scotland, then South Carolina. Then we did around the world trip, a world tour, and ended up going to Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, all those places around there. But you know what was crazy was that when I pulled into the ports, it wasn't so much that I enjoyed the country. I was enjoying the bars and getting drunk and getting back on the ships. If it's willing and everything works out all right, hopefully I can get there and go back to Scotland sober and see Scotland, see England, Wales. I've been to Ireland, and it's beautiful over there. The United Kingdom is very, very pretty over there, and especially when it rains. I don't know if you all notice that when it rains, everything turns really nice and green. But that's my dream. That is my bucket list, is to go back over to the places that I was in the service and go back sober and experience it. But I know right now, with everything happening in the world there, right, and what's going on, right now wouldn't be a happy time to not to do it. But as I, told you last week, I also do these spirit animal cards. Okay. Um, and I really, really like them because it's called the medicine deck. And what I tell people is I'm shuffling these, and what I tell is I usually pull a card out every Tuesday night, before like halfway or half hour before the show ends or whatever. And when I pick this card out, okay, it's going to be an animal, and I don't know if it's going to be good for everybody. I don't know if it's going to have to deal with you in your life today. But real quick, everyone says that we have spirit guides, we got angels that follow us through our everyday life. We also got animal spirits too. Okay. And this is why I like the medicine card, because I've been seeing a lot of like different animals, like the squirrel, chipmunk, rabbit, um, crows, a lot of crows, a lot of wrens, a lot of ravens, a lot of birds. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to sit down and take note, of all the animals that I have actually saw, and see what the message is for me. But I am going to pull a card now, right? I'll pull a card now. I've shuffled them and I'm cutting them into three decks, all right? And I'm going to pull one out. It's crazy. Look at that. So the crow. Is that crazy? The crow is what I pulled out. And I just got done telling you that I have seen a lot of crows in the last couple of weeks. It's crazy. Um, so what I would like you to do, okay, um, is take the word the crow and Google it under animal totems or animal spirit guides, and type in, crow animal totem guides, and read what it's all about. And usually, honestly, when you read it, okay, it has something to do with what's going on in your life today at the very moment. Okay. Um, and it does not happen to be the card that I drew today. It's like when you're driving down the road and you see a deer, stop and look at you. You see a chipmunk, you see a skunk, you see a possums, you see an eagle, you see a hawk, any animal that you see for that day, take a mental note of it or write it down on a piece of paper. Okay. And before you go to bed that night, just Google all those animals that you have saw. And I can guarantee you guys that the message was there for you. And you're just going to sit back and say, oh my God, Shawn could be right. you know. But I've worked with this medicine deck, and um, just follow the animals, because the animals are really big, especially the spirit animals. We both have, like, we have two guardian angels. Well, we got two animal totems. The alpha of mine is the wolf, and the female is the red-tailed hawk. You know, and those are my two main guides. As I walk this earth, and they're very protective. It's pretty interesting that the relationship that they have together, the wolf and the red-tailed hawk, they haven't, it's crazy. The wolf kicks ass, and the hawk, goes out and finds out who's being a pain in the ass, and come back and tell me, and I'll tell the wolf, and they go out and take care of business. You know, but I feel more comfortable whenever um, I'm dealing with the animals. Hmm. Oh, okay. Um, every while and then I get these Facebook things come up on the bottom right of my computer. But it's been a good show. It's been a good show tonight. Um, in closing, I'll try, to get about 20, 25 minutes out of this. I think I will, because you guys are good. I just want to say to everybody that for everybody who watches my show on Tuesday nights, thank you for coming on. That means a lot to me. I used to be, we did have that show, Chasing Prophecy, and now it's gone. Its time has ended. Oh, Sebastian says the crow can mean change is coming. Very interesting, Shawn. Yeah, it's funny that you said that because for all the crap that's going on out there, happening here in the States and even in the world, I just, for me, I guess gets this strong sense of strength that things are going to turn around for the good, don't they? But so maybe that's why I'm seeing a lot of crows that there's going to be a major change. Um, I don't know, but I would like to say that thank you for all watching the shows and having like normal people, not normal, but steady people that come and listen to me. It means a lot. It does. I try to do the best I can for you guys, and there are times that I do put out a decent show. In fact, all my shows are decent, but there are times that I just start rambling and rambling and rambling. So tonight was a great night. Michael was on, Rose was on, Frater was on, Sebastian was on, Brian was on, and that nice lady Pam Harris was her name. Pam Harris. I'm going to try to get her on next. I don't know. Now, see, that's crazy because next week is the 4th of July and it's next Tuesday. I need to know right now for the two people who are out there and watching the show. Um, should I have a show next Tuesday or should I celebrate? I know eventually what's going to happen is going to be my choice. But right now, I would like to offer that to you guys. You know, what I might just do, okay, is pre-record a show and then put it out there next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Because I can do that. I can pre-record a show and put it on here. You know, and I might, I might just do that because whenever the fireworks go off in my house or where I live, okay, they're loud and it actually shakes the house because they shoot them off in the middle of Dornmont Park now, and they're real loud. And a lot of people probably be at that time, watching their fireworks themselves. But I just don't want to stop giving you my message. So either way, how it goes, okay, um, there's going to be a show, but I am leaning toward more of a pre-recorded show. So it'll all be a surprise on what I talk about. You know, so I guess it's going to be pre-recorded, and I'm going to enjoy the fireworks that night. You know, and I'm going to be off the next day, so that's even crazier because it's been like that for a long time. I do share this a lot, and I'm okay with sharing it. Let me see, is it still June? Yeah, June is Men's Mental Health Month, you know, that you look out for. And I do have mental health issues. I have a lot of anxiety. I got a lot of depression. And they just keep giving me medicine. But you know what? The medicine just makes it worse, a lot worse. So I cut back on it. And eventually I just quit taking it, you know. But there's a lot of men out there and women and children that are suffering from this. You know, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell them what to do or how to do it. But I could tell you right now, honestly, is that I am there for you. If I'll probably never meet you. I'll probably never get to see you. But I want you guys to know who are having a little bit of a rough time right now at this time. You are in my thoughts and you are in my prayers. I will tell you that. Okay. Um, if you need somebody to talk to, please ask somebody. And I know, oh God, do I know how hard it is to ask somebody to listen or talk to. Huh. Sebastian says, it's always great to see you, Shawn. So if pre recorded or live is good to me. Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate that. It's always good to see you too, sir. Honestly, it is. Um, Give somebody, and like I said before, it is real hard to get somebody to talk to, you know. Try, try to do that. But please don't ever be by yourself and in the frame of mind that you're in because it's a killer. It really is a killer. It drive you to drink. I don't know. No, I shouldn't have said that. But when I'm by myself and I'm not in my right mind, I'm not a good person, you know. But just try to be there. And anybody out there that sees somebody that is going through a hard time, who is struggling, with a bad situation that they're going through, it does not hurt to sit down and listen to them. Honest to God, if it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. But just even if they don't talk, like just sitting there, because you know it's really great is knowing that there is somebody there with me at the time. And you'll be surprised, right? You'll be surprised how there are other people who are going through the same thing. And they might not show it and they might get a little anxious or whatever, but deep down inside, I'm telling you, honest to Pete, I'm telling you, it makes them feel good. I guess it makes them feel wanted. It makes them that people do care. So just sit with them, buy them a coffee, talk to them. We need that. And then also the people, who aren't. It don't hurt to go up and say, "Hey, can I buy you a coffee? Let's chat." Or I'm here. Let's get a coffee. Sit down and tell me what's going on. Tell me about your day. That's huge. Asking somebody to talk about their day. Absolutely. Everybody should love everybody or like everybody. There should not be any anger toward anybody or meanness. And I keep talking about this and I keep talking about it. It's why be mean to people? Why can't you just why can't people just say, hey, you know what? I'll never see you again, but I'm giving you 5 minutes of my time just to say hello and to tell you that everything will be okay. That's okay. It's good to do that. And you'll be surprised how far that goes, you know. Um, has anybody else come up with any other type of suggestions? I know next week I'm going to do a pre-recorded show, but also a week after that, I'm going to try to get Miss Pam Harris on the show, and she's going to do some readings for us on the show and talk about her paranormal group. That would be really, really cool. And if anybody out there who is listening to the show and who would like to be on my show, go to the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page and send me a message. Go on Facebook to the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page and send me a message. And we can talk about the day that you want to come on the show and what you want to talk about. And on my show, we can talk about anything we want to talk about. We can talk about cryptids. We can talk about ghosts. Whatever is on your mind, we can talk about it. Freighter's been on my show a while, a couple times, and my God, great shows. And you just build a nice rapport with people, you know. If you have a paranormal group out there that is just starting, and you want to come on into the night and talk about your group, this is the best way to get out there and and kind of advertise your group. You know what I mean? I'd be more than happy to take you on, and we can talk about why you became a ghost hunter, what is your final goal, what is um, the big thing that you want to accomplish in paranormal investigating. Write me, or send me a message. Like I said, send me a message at the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page, and I will get you on my show. There's no reason to be fair. There isn't. You know, um, do everything make. I would do everything I can to make it comfortable for you to be on the show, so you can advertise and just tell us all about you and the group. And it don't have to be a paranormal group. It can be, people who go out and investigate Bigfoot, and it's good for people who go out and, look for cryptids and stuff like that. If you want to talk, we can talk about angels and demons if you wish. You know, it's all on you. It's all up to you guys. What you guys want to talk about, and I think we'll be okay. I think it'll be good. Um, so I know what I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week on the pre-recorded, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to thank UPRN, United Public Radio, UPRN Talk Radio, Joe and Michelle, for giving me the opportunity to do this. Um, I've learned a lot from all the other awesome all the other guests that have shows on yours during the week. Because I learned from them, and they're good people. UPRN is a great place to go if you don't want to watch TV. Just go on and go to UPRN Talk Radio. Hit the like button or hit the live button, and whatever show is coming up is going to come up, and you can listen to us. You know, um, this is a great group. And it's not so much that they have shows that are on at night, okay? They also have them during the daytime because I know that There's about three or four that are across the pond in England, in Sebastian's area, that have shows on that are on in the afternoon. You know, and what I want to do, and I was thinking of that too, and talking to Michelle about it. And I'll talk to her later about it, but I would like to do, some shows with them, talk about them on our show tonight. Have them on as guests and see what their shows are about, and you know, get to know the other shows that are on this channel. You know, I think it would be a good experience. I think it would be great, to be honest with you. So look for that down the road. But I can't say enough on how much UPRN radio has done for me. Joe Montaldo and Michelle, I cannot pronounce her name. Desiroche, I don't know. But Joe has his show on Wednesday night and Friday night, and Quantum something, I'm not sure. I forget. But he'll be mad at me because I don't know the shows. And then there's Michelle's. Hers is on Thursday. The Outer Realm. That's on Wednesdays, and she has another one on Thursday night. But tune into them and listen to them. Listen to Trish. Oh yeah, I'll say that again. Trish Moe. She's coming on right after me. The Missing Piece. Trish Moe. Awesome host. She has some great shows. Very knowledgeable and everything. Um, then you got a lot of shows that are on Monday, and I have to look them up because for some reason, oh, okay, the Horsefly Chronicles, seriously, on Monday nights, they're great. They are great. The Horsefly Laura Lee's program on Mondays at 6, I think it is Eastern. Um, whatever's at the whatever's at the foot of the bed. I'm going to have to really read up on these shows, but I know these people personally, and they're they're great. They have good shows, and they're very caring people, and they will go out of their way to help you. But their shows, you have to sit and you don't have to, but you know what? You can just tune in, and whenever you tune in, you can type in the chat, say, "Hey, Shawn sent me." Just sitting here enjoying the show. That's all I got to do, you know? So it's good to um, just keep this on your computer or on your iPhone or your Android, whatever, and hit the like button and go. I guess there's an app you can download and go to that. There's so much knowledge on this channel, on this platform here, that you will be surprised on what there is. And it's not all paranormal, and it's not all UFOs and aliens. It is a little political. There is a big, like, a cornucopia. That's the new word for today. Cornucopia of different topics that are on the shows, on this whole platform. I like that word, cornucopia. But again, tonight was a good show. I enjoyed it tonight. It was good to talk to Michael River and Sebastian and Frater and Miss Pam Harris and my cousin Brian and my other cousin Laura. It put a smile on my face. So that's what it's all about, you know. Whatever I talk about, and whatever I can share with you, hopefully that it will help you further down the road. I don't, it's crazy. I'm so trying to figure out what to say. I got about another 10 minutes and then I'm pretty good to go then. But is there anybody out there that have any questions that they would like to ask? The two people who are in the room, is there any questions you'd like to ask, or is there anything that you would like to talk about? Um, now's the time. You know, I don't want to end this show short because for me, Tuesday nights, I'm telling you what, I really look forward to this. You know, and I know that starting on the new time, I'll catch everybody up who is listening. 2 weeks ago, Chasing Prophecy had their last show. I was a co-host on there with Jenny Nicosia. It was their last show, and it's no longer being aired. Um, so I always had Into the Night, and I kind of like fell in that between. And then I got a 2 hour show from 8:10 to 10:10, but it's going to be like 8:10 to 10 o'clock, you know. Um, but I'm on Tuesday nights now, from 8:10 p.m. to 10, and I hope to see more people come, sit down and watch the show and to enjoy the show. The people I have now that are in my followers, I call them. I guess you can call them followers, but people who watch my show, all the time. I'm really grateful for that. I do have my little crew over in Scotland. I kid you not, honest to God, when my show was from 10 to 11, there was like 10 girls over there. They would be up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to listen to 1 hour of my show. That was my group over there in Scotland. They were cute. I haven't seen or talked to them for a while, but you know what? It's nice that and it's not so much that I have an egotistical thing about being on this show and being out on the radio. It's something that I enjoy to do. And even though I'm repeating myself a lot and I'm repeating the different type of topics that I had before, I don't know. And I just enjoy doing this. I enjoy, giving you a message out there and see what we can do with it, you know. Um, and then Michael, who was on the phone this morning tonight, I worked with him on America. Oh my God, I forget. I'm sorry, Michael, but he has a good show, really really good show. And, Michael Anthony, and if check out his shows. America in Crisis is what it's called. America in Crisis. I will put that on the Facebook page and that. And about his show, and it's great. It's really good show. It's an eye opener. It really makes you think. Uh, will Michael be back on again? He's got his own show right now, Sebastian. Um, you can enjoy it. Oh, thank you, Laura, for enjoying the show. It was good to see you. Oh man, love you, hon. Will Michael be back on again? Michael got his own show, so I don't know. Possibility as a guest, but as of now, it's my show tonight. For now, we'll see what happens. Um, he's a good dude. He has a lot of stuff to say. So all you just got to look up his shows. In fact, if you go to the Facebook page, you can see some of his shows. American Crisis. This is big show, and it makes you think. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from Jenny and John Ventry from the other hosts. You know, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know. Honest to God, Sebastian, I don't know if I'm going to be around tomorrow morning or not. So we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely going to have a pre-recorded show, and for next week, and we're going to go from there. And on that note, okay, I'm going to get into it right now. I love I love everybody out there, and I do care for everybody out there, and I do pray for everybody out there. And I hope one day like I told you before, I hope one day that there will be one day where everybody will be okay with each other. One day. That's all I ask. One day, you know. But so, as I say at the ending, okay. Oh, don't forget, you got to Google the crow. Check that out. You got to Google the crow and see what the crow's all about. It'll be pretty interesting. I want everybody to have a wonderful 4th of July. Um, and the people who are listening to this overseas, if you got a holiday coming up, I wish you the best for that too. Right? Um, it's going to be okay. Right now, at this very moment, at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, everything is okay because I'm with friends. I'm good people too. So, parents, please, if you can, go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And children, please, go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no children, God bless you too, Sebastian. God bless you too. And if you don't have no parents, find somebody to give them a hug and tell them that you love them. Because, those three words, I love you, go a long way. It makes you feel good inside. And if you can't say that, just give a person a smile. A smile. That's it. See? A smile. If you can't give them a smile, try to help somebody out that day. Tomorrow, here's something I'll give you guys to do. Tomorrow, here's what you guys should do: is find somebody who needs some help and give them help. If it's carrying an old lady's bag across the street, if it's somebody who needs something from the store, if the lady can't is having a struggle and a hard time picking something up off the shelf, help them because that's going to go a long way. It is. It will go. It will make your day and it will make their day. So on that note, thank you for watching the show. Next week I'll have a pre-recorded program. I don't know what it's going to be on, right? But it will definitely be there. And according to my producer, I need to spend 3 more minutes. God bless him. I don't know what more to say. I just want to. I keep saying thank you, and every time I say thank you, I just got to put a dollar into the thank you jar. You know. But I'm gonna. You know what? I got like a minute left here, so I'm gonna pull another card for everybody out here. You know, and we'll see what happens. Okay. I'm gonna pull one more card, and like I said, whenever you get this card, Google it, and it will tell you the reason why that animal I pulled for you. The rabbit. That's funny. The rabbit. Look up the rabbit. Google the rabbit and ask why the rabbit is in your totem. It's funny because after this show is over, I talked about the little rabbit that's been hanging out in my garden, and the crows have been hanging around me. So I'm gonna have to check out those two cards to see what they are. So, okay, everybody, have a good night. Have a happy 4th of July. I'll see you live in a couple of weeks. Don't forget, pre-recorded next week. And don't forget, Trish Mo's coming up next at 10:15 Eastern Time uh, with the missing piece. Everybody, good night. Good luck. and have a good evening.